recording started. Hello again, Freddy and Marlon. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm going to start sharing my screen with you in this moment. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Okay. Showing a presentation in Canva. This is slideshow. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to start by presenting the part B, the one that deals with the pedagogical proposal to use the virtual learning environment that I designed in a school context. So I'm going to be addressing the different aspects that the professor asked to include. And then after that, we're going to be navigating through my virtual learning environment. I already got some of your replies in one of the discussion forums. I think it was Freddie the one who participated. So first we're going to go through the proposal, and then we're going to go for, we're gonna take a look at the at my VLE. Okay, so give me just a second. I'm going to open this in the presentation. So it should be full screen right now. But let me just go back to the start. All right. So my virtual learning object is called Como dice el dicho, or in English, as the saying goes. Um, What's the raison d'etre? I noticed that students find it difficult to guess the meanings or the nuances in terms of intercultural exchange and also in terms of social linguistics and so on. So it is not enough for students to have a certain level of English. They need to understand that languages being part, an expression of culture themselves, they need to gain some knowledge into these important aspects of idiomatic expressions, not only in English, but also in Spanish and virtually in every language around the world. So this is also highly tied or related to cultural heritage. So we need to study a little bit, or we need to do some digging in the origins of these sayings, of these idiomatic expressions in English. Good thing is that we do have them in Spanish in most of the cases. We just need to find the equivalents. Okay, so this is the agenda for this short session. First, I'm going to give you some insights about the socio-educational context where this proposal is going to be applied. Second, the incorporation, how I'm trying to incorporate it in the students' syllabus. Third, the population for the pedagogical and didactical strategies behind this. Number in fifth place, we have the virtual environment. The reasons why this is going to be fully virtually, not blended. This is only going to be online. The learning objectives and the learning outcomes, the evaluation system, the teacher's role and student's role, and the theoretical and pedagogical principles behind, and the previous knowledge that is required for students to have a successful result in achieving the learning objectives that are proposed in this virtual learning environment. Okay, so in terms of the socio-educational context, they are students from Waste Language Institute. This is one of the places where I work. Um, so they are between 20 and 47 years old, the people who decided to participate in this. That's why the population deals with young adult and adult learners, okay? They are going to be a group of maybe 10 to 15 people according to the information that I've had compiled. Of course, we know that we have restrictions and limitations and the limitations, so probably not all of them are going to make it. I hope that everybody can participate in these activities. Um, why did I decide to choose this population? Because they have been my students for the whole year, and I have established a certain rapport with them. And according to scientific research, well, students who do happen to have a strong connection in terms of educational rapport and psychological rapport with students, with teachers, tend to learn in, um, in a better fashion. and I asked them if they wanted to take an active role in this proposal, and they said yes. And that's why I'm going to be working with them. This is aimed for a B1 level. There are different idioms that can be taught at different levels according to the Common European Framework of Reference. However, I need students to have a certain background when it comes to learning processes, when it comes to English language learning, because um, the linguistic knowledge is not enough. So we have to go deeper into culture. We have to go deeper into historical processes, cultural processes, and so on and so forth. So this is something that students at a B1 level are going to be able to do. And there are some other studies that support this sociolinguistics related topic, which is idiomatic expressions. Let's move into the next. How I'm trying to incorporate this virtual learning object in their students' classes. Well, I have to consider the syllabus first. Some idiomatic expressions are part of the syllabus, not as a main topic, but as a separate one. Okay, sometimes they appear, sometimes they do not appear. I have noticed that they also appear spontaneously during the lesson and according to the context and according to the topics that we're covering. So we can incorporate one or maybe two per class. Okay, not always this is the same. Sometimes we have weeks where we don't see any incorporation of and use of these idiomatic expressions. So it's going to be like a plus in their syllabus. It is also based on the students' needs. Again, I told you before that the raison d'être is the fact that they find it difficult because they cannot be translated literally. And we language teachers know that for a certain period of time, especially regarding the silent period, we tend to translate consciously or unconsciously. So once they have overcome that translation phase, they need to understand that there is more beyond literal meaning. We have figurative meanings, we have idiomatic expressions, and they are part of this realm. Okay, again, because this is significant for students, this is real life, this is a real life context. Native speakers of virtually every language, every spoken language, use idiomatic expressions on a daily basis. One thing is the language we speak in the classroom, which is mainly academic and formal, and another different thing is the language we use with our families, with our friends, with our colleagues in different environments. And well, English language especially is filled with not only idiomatic expressions but also slang, shortcuts, abbreviations, acronyms, and so on. But I'm just going to go for idiomatic expressions. The population, once again, English students at West Language Institute, young adults and adult learners. I say young adults because the youngest one is 20 years old and the oldest one is 47 years old. So there is a great deal of difference there. Um, this is an important aspect to be considered, as we're going to see. Okay, so these are the names of my students. Diana is an industrial engineer. She is 30 years old. She specialized in project management. Santiago is a civil engineer. He is 26. He's currently looking forward to moving to Australia. So it's important to let him know about this cultural exchange. Sayonara is another of my students. She happens to be a flight attendant, so she's going to be traveling all around the world. All the more reason why I decided to consider my students' needs when it comes to designing all of this. Jean-Claude is an environmental engineer. He's currently based here in Colombia. He has no plans of moving. Some of them have been abroad. Some of them are planning to go abroad again. Gabriela is a BA in the modern languages student as well as Natalia. So this is also one of the reasons why this is going to be important and relevant for them as future English teachers or future language teachers. Ivan is an economist with a master's in economic growth and development. There are some money-related idioms as well. Paula is a criminal investigator Hugo is a philosopher with a master's in philosophy. He's also a professor. Maria Jose is a medical student. She is in 8th semester. We know that doctors and virtually every students have to have a certain level of English, and again there are idioms for everything. Vanessa is a lawyer specialized in labor law, and Camilo is a business manager. He's currently taking a specialization. So those are some remarks about my students and about the population. In terms of the pedagogical and didactical strategies, well, this is an autonomous learning environment, and that's why I have been telling my students that this is something they're going to be doing on their own. Of course, we're going to have a live session, but mostly they're going to be working asynchronously. Also, flipped learning, because they have all the material there, which is highly related to autonomous learning, which is one of the main features when it comes to online learning environments, and definitely the method, the three P's methods that I'm sure that you're familiar with: presentation, practice, and production, because there are some things that I'm going to have to explain, especially during the live sessions that we're going to have. I don't know if it's going to be one or if it's going to be two. I haven't checked the last activity guide as of yet. Okay, why did I decide to go for a full virtual environment? First of all, because of the requirements of the masters. Second of all, because of ubiquity. Third of all, because the building where I currently work is going to be demolished, so we don't have the facilities to be there. And also because somehow this is going to be done outside of class time, out of the class, as an out of the classroom activity. And we have one course at the master's called Autonomy in Language Learning Environments. So I'm fostering this kind of soft skills in my students. Also because virtual learning environments have demonstrated or have proven to be highly efficient when it comes to language learning, especially because of the gamification features that it could offer depending on the platform that we use. Most of my students, even though I have old students and adult students, most of my students are young learners. So they are referred as to digital natives, and this is the language they speak, language in quotation marks. And also because ICT-based learning has shown to be highly effective when it comes to mediating these learning processes. And it's apart from the fact that it has a positive impact on students' motivation. And of course, netiquette rules are to be considered. My students already know what netiquette refers to, because we have a forum, because we have online sessions, because we have live sessions. So it's important to be respectful in online environments. The learning objectives and outcomes. Well, pretty much the idea is for my students to break the linguistic walls that figurative or idiomatic language poses. Again, we cannot translate this literally. We need to go deeper into the figurative meaning that it is trying to convey, which is again highly related to cultural heritage. Also, I'm looking for an enhancement on my students' communication skills, not only the input ones, but also the output ones. And also because this is highly related to native likeness. Again, as I previously stated, idiomatic expressions is part of every language, and native speakers of every language use these idioms on a daily basis. This is something that is not always included in the on the books or in the material on the curricula themselves. So I find it important to be taught. How about the evaluation? Well, there are different evaluation system or evaluation and assessment phases. First of all, a previous knowledge activity, definitely formative assessment, which is going to be assessed via the participation in the live sessions, also the forums and the different activities they have to work on. Summative, because by the end of each unit, there is a test. So there is a final test for unit 1, there is a final test for unit 2, and generally speaking, there is a final challenge, okay? I decided to give this last activity a final challenge name. The forums, like I already said, the live sessions, and the automatic feedback, which is very important for students in terms or in grounds of self-directed learning and virtual learning environments. Once again, what's the teacher's role? Where my role is going to be that of a mediator, a facilitator, one that is going to be there for students whenever they need help, but also one that is constantly telling them that this is their main responsibility. That's why the learner's role is to constantly interact with the virtual learning environment. It has been available for more than a month, almost 2 months now. I enrolled most of my students like more than a month ago, so I'm keeping track of every student because this is one of the features that Moodle allows me to do. The theoretical and pedagogical principles behind are the sociolinguistic approach, the connectivism theory, the activity theory, communities of practice, intercultural communicative competence, and other deeply rooted theories regarding this topic. Okay, and the previous knowledge, once again, I think it's B1 or constructed B1, considering that there are some deep topics that we have to go through in order to understand the cultural meaning or the sociocultural side of idiomatic expressions. Okay, so this is the pedagogical proposal, and now we're going to move into exploring the learning environment. Please let me know if you're there while I change to the virtual environment. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very
Yes.
much for your confirmation to the both of you, Freddie and Marlon. So can you see my virtual environment in this moment?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for letting me know. So as you can see, this is based on Moodle. I created it on Milaulas. I didn't go for the freemium version because I needed to upload heavy materials and also other layout features that were only included in the premium version. So there are some extra features that students can enjoy when it comes to exploring this virtual learning environment. It is very intuitive of um, in terms of navigability. In this moment, you're seeing the teacher's view. Okay, so maybe no, I'm not changing. So I'm showing you the teacher's view. If you have access to this virtual learning environment, I already enrolled the both of you, so you will maybe have a different view. So first, the course introduction. There is a forum, last news. Then there is a welcome video. We are not going to be working on all of the activities. We're just going to be taking a look at the main layout. Okay, so the welcome video, the instructions are there, how to use and navigate the interactive presentation. I decided to include like GIFs and some other HTTP 5P elements in order to make it more attractive and more engaging, attending to virtual learning environments. So you can also download this material is as a as a PowerPoint file in case you want to take a deeper look at it. The learning outcomes are also explained there. I didn't devote much time because we only have 20-30 minutes for this session. Okay, so you can find more about learning outcomes when you explore the learning environment. This is another forum, Ask Your Teacher forum. I already posted some information there back in October when I created it during the first days of October. So all of the GIFs and all of the pictures that are included are related to idioms, like I'm all ears, and as you can see as we go through different sections. So I decided to call Unit 1 as the saying goes. This is an expression people normally use in English when they want to introduce a saying or an idiom. Some of you have already worked on the pre-knowledge activity, which is a Kahoot, in order to get to know your previous knowledge precisely on idiomatic expressions. And also this is like an interactive presentation for you to gain some more insight into the matter. So I incorporated QR codes as well, considering um, This is also intended for portable devices like cell phones, laptops, and, cell phones and tablets and so on. The learning guide. So this is what I expect my students to do and follow day by day, week by week. This is not gonna take more than an hour. Maybe that's why the suggested time is always 1 hour. And you can also download this information as a PDF file. The content presentation, I included infographics, I included different colors, I included different materials attending to different learning styles, preferences, and personalities. So you can check that. And there is also another video as an introduction to the topic. All of the skills are going to be present: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Writing through the forums, speaking through the live session, and the input ones are the main ones that are included. So comprehension check activity, listening comprehension, and reading comprehension. Here are the examples on how to solve these activities. And you can click, for example, here. Let's try with the comprehension activity number 1. So the grading method is the highest grade, and there are 2 attempts for students to do it. You click here, you will have access to it. Okay, so this is a reading titled Idiomatic Language Matters, and having command of it boosts communication among speakers. So there is a reading there. Again, this is aimed at B1. That's why some of the materials are longer than expected. I decided to incorporate different types of exercises like true, false, not given, multiple choice, matching headings, arranging the different pieces of information, and so on. Let me show you, for example, the automatic feedback. So I'm just choosing these answers randomly to show you how it works. And then you click on finish attempt, and it will provide you with submit all and finish, and then it will provide you with immediate and automatic feedback. Okay, and it tells you why or which is the correct answer for the ones that are not correct. So you simply click on that. This is very similar to the platform we use for the masters. Okay, and as you navigate through the different sections of this virtual learning environment, you will find more and more activities. For example, these are gamify activities. Initially, I used external links like to Verwell and other websites that I use because of gamification matters. But it was a requirement for this activity to embed everything in the virtual learning environment. That's why maybe some of the activities are not as gamified as I initially proposed. Okay, so let the challenge commence. Here are examples of more idioms like break a leg, let's go bananas. The discussion forums. I think it was unit 1. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is the discussion forum for unit 1. I think Freddie was the one who posted. So click on the button above to interact with your peers and teacher by accessing this forum activity. You simply click here, and at the bottom you will see the discussion, which I decided to call Why Are Idioms Important? Okay, so again, I included gifts regarding or related to idioms. Don't judge a book by its cover. And these are the instructions. Dear students, in order to foster communication and peer interaction, I would like you to answer the questions below. Peer feedback is always welcome. Bear in mind etiquette rules when participating and let your mind be free. The questions are: what are idioms? Why do you think they are important in the process of learning English as a foreign language? When is it okay to use them? Are there any idioms you are familiar with? Give some examples. So for example, Freddie has already posted his answers, and the idea is for you to continue replying in order to foster peer feedback and communication skills and peer interaction and so on and so forth. And let me go back. The same structure goes for, this is the further practice. This is the only external material. You can click on that. These are some, idioms related to Shakespeare, which I find interesting. The self-assessment activity by the end of each unit, which is the summative assessment, and unit 2 follows the same layout. Okay, so the learning guide, the content presentation, listening comprehension activity based on idioms, practice, the examples there, how to answer the questions, the immediate feedback, the discussion forum. In the second unit is, are idioms necessary to speak English fluently? Yes, no, why, provide your reasons. Find the reading about idioms and some evidence behind this. The consolidation section, the final test, which is the also part of the summative assessment, and the live session date, which is the thing we're doing today, and the thing I guess we will have to do for the next activity, and that's it. I know that you have already worked on some of the activities, so once again I kindly invite you to participate, and that's it. I don't know if you have any questions, if you have any comments, let me know, please.
No, I just wanted to say that it's an interesting course. You find different activities, different skills. So that's why I like it. I just work on unit number 1, but maybe in the future I want to work on unit number 2 as well.
Okay, Freddy, thank you very much for your comment.
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed it. I think it's important for students to know that there are other cultural aspects that they have to learn, such as idioms, right? Because sometimes they translate the idioms that we use, and of course, people won't understand that if they use them with native speakers. So I think this is a cultural aspect that is important to teach students, so they know that yes, idioms exist in our languages, but they are not exactly literally translated from Spanish. So I find that very useful.
Okay, great, Marlon. So before we finish, why don't we give a try to some idioms? Uh, how about not all that glitters is gold? Can you think of Spanish equivalent? Not all that glitters, or all that glitters is not gold.
Yes, I think that one has a literal translation, no todo lo que brilla es oro.
That some of them are more easy to spot because the equivalent is very similar, almost like a literal translation. How about hit the jackpot? Or nailed it, for example. Nailed it. Or you hit the nail on the head.
Mm. Oh yeah, yes. I
Like, for
can't
example,
think
Really?
of,
I'm not
of an
sure.
expression in Spanish. Mm.
It's like when you have something, you're precise.
when you are highly accurate with your response, you normally say nailed it, or you hit the nail on the head. It's like excelente, muy bien, le diste al clavo, le diste donde era, something like that. That one is
Excellent.
also literal. How about all the water under the bridge? This is the last one. All the water under the bridge.
Yeah, I know what it means, but I don't know if there is an equivalent in Spanish. But it means that, like, there is another one in let bygones be bygones. So, like, let's forget about everything that happened.
Did you say to forget?
Yes, it's like let's not pay attention to the past and let's move on from now on. Like that's
Yeah.
water under the bridge. Like that's old news. But I don't know if we have something in Spanish exactly like that.
Okay. Maybe in a very colloquial expression would be el pasado es pasado or pasado
Mm-hmm.
pisado.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, very
So
good.
this is very British. This is a very British. This is a very British idiom. I learned it from watching Harry Potter. All water under the
Mm-hmm.
bridge. So I think it's Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, or the Sixth. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just wanted to let you know about this. So I think that's it. We can finish. I want to thank you very much for your attention and for your participation, Marlon and Freddie. Okay, so night night everybody. It's been a
It was a
pleasure.
pleasure.
Take care.
Bye
Take
bye.
care.
Bye.